I'm ready. Let's record. The first thing, what's a truth about getting older that nobody tells you?
That there are different changes, many different changes. In your 60s, you don't operate like you operate in your 80s. In your 80s, it's like reaching the top of the mountain, and you sit down and you look around, and you come to conclusions. One of the conclusions I made was I didn't believe in God anymore. I know God. It's a difference in belief and know. And that's one major thing as you get older, that you begin to realize that you have met God along the way, and that God is within you and your experiences with God. So that's one thing that changes. There's no more, you want to come to a conclusion about beliefs. So that's one of the major things for me.
Let me put this button real quick because that fridge turned on. Block that out. Okay. Looking back, is there anything that you would tell your, let's say, 20-year-old self, 30-year-old self, in retrospect? Just about life,
Take it slow. Don't rush through life. Take your time. Take care of your physical, and mental and spiritual mind. And like I say, don't rush. Take it slow as you can. Rush when you have to. But overall, don't rush through life.
How has dating changed since the 1950s?
I really don't know. I didn't do a lot of dating. I had a wife for 58 years. And so I wasn't really into the dating thing. And as we got together as teenagers, so it was very different. You had to respect their family. You had to know their family. And sometimes your family was the ones that would say, that's a good girl, that's, push you towards each other. That's what I had. My wife's mother and grandmother, and they were very close to me. And they co-signed our relationship together. They were for that. Not all of the family, but there were those who co-signed me and her being together and did whatever they could to help us along the way. Families were a little closer then. Women weren't so out front like they are today. Women cursed in private sometimes, but overall you never saw them cursing in public. And certain places you may find that, but overall it wasn't like that. Women were a little more less aggressive.
Do you have any advice for people who haven't found their soulmate or their wife? Things to look out for, things to be cautious of? Some where families can actually happen.
Well, the thing is to try to get somebody who's honest, somebody who looks out for you, even in the small things of life, like seeing that your tea is how you like it, very small things that are gestures of love and caring. You know, you hope they have a nice day. You listen to their problems of the day. You listen to each other. You learn to cut off negativity. It takes two to tango. It takes two to give and respond to negativity. Somebody in that relationship has to know how to turn that off. My wife is very good at it. She didn't try to win the argument. She just shut up. Till another time. She wasn't going to change whatever she was dealing with, but she saw that it was going nowhere and she knew when to turn it off. I would continue to talk. She knew not to say anything anymore because we weren't going to get anywhere. And she would wait till later to bring that same subject up and try to get some understanding, but she knew when to cut it off.
Let's see. Why is patience more important than hustle?
They're both important. It's according to what you're dealing with. Patience is always something that's wonderful because it gives you time to look around. It gives you time to see. It gives you time to think. It gives you time to plan. And hustle is important in trying to do a good job at everything that you do. You want to do a good job at it. You want to hustle it. And I don't know what your definition of hustle is, but mine is to continue to move on. Continue to hustle for whatever it is you want rather than to beg for it. You know, hustle is hard work in a sense. That's hustling. Hustling is not easy. It's very hard work to do a good job, to hustle whatever you're trying to do in a positive way. Not trying to cheat anyone or anything, but trying to do a good job, trying to cultivate excellence. That's what hustling is to me.
How would you handle failure without breaking when it's something that you know?
Knowing that it's a part of life. All winners don't win all the time. All winners don't win, period, sometimes. Knowing that, loss is a part of life. It's like winning it. And like I say, all winners don't win all the time.
How do you stay true to yourself in a world that pressures you?
Very easy, being real with myself. It's not hard for me to be real with myself. I know the truth when I recognize it, So I look at myself realistically. If there's something that is negative in me, I recognize that. Because I'm a thinking person. And I come up with a solution for dealing with it. I loved drugs when I was a drug addict. But when I decided to not deal with it anymore, I was realistic with myself. I saw that I was on a dead-end street and I just got off of it. I didn't make it a big therapeutic session. I knew it was negative. And I had to face that. And I knew that it wasn't going to take me anywhere but into a negative situation. And it did. So some of the lessons I had to learn, I ended up in jail for dealing with drugs. And I had to come to the conclusion that I couldn't deal with that anymore. No matter how much I loved it, no matter how much I wanted to deal with it, I realized that it was negative for my life. And all along the way, I had to do those kind of little cleanups. It don't stop. You start eating too much. When you know you're eating too much, or you're eating the wrong things, you have to change that. Or you can allow it to linger and do damage to you. And along the way, you stop wanting to damage yourself because of ignorance. Or because I love that. Yeah, I loved to shoot heroin when I was shooting it. But again, as I say, when I found out it was a negative in my life, I eliminated it. I went to therapeutic programs and stuff, but they didn't help me. It came to is you ain't. And that's what I did. That's how I stopped using drugs, not with a therapist. With a reality. Facing the reality in my life. Is you ain't, period. Is that good for me or is it not? And what was I going to do about it because it was on me? It all ended up on the decisions I made, the choices I made. And I had to choose that was very negative in my life and that wasn't going to be anything good in the long run. And I cleaned that up and moved on in life.
What would you say is the best advice you ever got from someone?
Oh, that's very difficult to come because I got advice all along the way from different people for different things. I learned not to rush from a friend of mine. He was never rushed. And he let me know why, because he said he didn't know where he was rushing to. We lived in a very violent atmosphere. We were hustlers in the street. And he realized and made me realize that we didn't need to rush because we didn't know where we were rushing to. The things that we were doing in the streets as hustlers. Not the hustler in the sense as we talked about earlier, but in the life of the streets. We knew that was very precarious. That we might end up at any time in a dead, prison, hurting others, And I remember my friend telling me when we were dealing drugs, one day he stopped and we had a conversation and he said, every time we sell some of these drugs to a human being, they have a mother, they have a father, they have sisters, brothers, friends, and cousins who are praying for their survival. And all those prayers are aimed at us, the dope dealer. He said, we can't win this battle. My friends were always highly intellectual cats. And we would sit down and talk about things like that. And he said, just imagine every man we sell to, every woman we sell to, they have someone that loves them, someone that is praying for their survival. And all those prayers are aimed at us, the dealer. And he actually stopped dealing. He started gambling. I kept dealing till I ended up in jail. But that was a great lesson to learn, that all those prayers that those people were praying for their children that were drug addicts, those prayers were aimed at us, the dealer.
What are some things you thought you'd never see in your lifetime? Or never get to experience that you did? Good or bad?
I couldn't answer that question. All life was interesting to me along the way. I got to the point that there was nothing that could surprise me because I'd seen so much. And I didn't ever let it overwhelm me with surprise. I expected anything from a human being. We're the number one predator in the universe. So, you know, we have to all see the positive and negative in us. I remember George Clinton had a song called The Dog in Me. Something like that. You have to see the dog in you. And it's what you feed that survives. The dog, or the philosopher, or whatever else that may be positive within you. It's all on what you choose. You can choose either one. And either one you choose is the one you feed.
What keeps you young at 85? 86 if you count the...
Well, my wife, my mind is very young. It's, I see far ahead in my mind. And my body may get weak and feeble and unhealthy, but my mind continues to grow daily. I try to learn something new. I'm just as enthusiastic about life as I was when I was a little boy. Hoping Mama stopped by the ice cream store. I've always been a searching life. I never just took it for granted. Like I said, Papa told me to take life seriously always, son. Respect everyone. Make your word your bond as to some of you and what you do. If you say it, mean it. Screen it. If it's dirty, clean it. Making surely that you mean it. So, alive, my boy, you move on in life, and that's what I continue to do. I continue to grow. I guess you would say I'm getting older and younger all at the same time. Age brings more, you're more inquisitive as an elder, even more than you are as a child. So I guess that's kind of keep my mind new and always reaching for knowledge, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But most of all, like the Bible say, understanding life.
Why do you think people are lonely, more lonelier than ever right now?
Because their attention is not on humanity. Their attention is on gadgets, phones, TVs, earplugs, others' conversations, because there's so many coming from so many different directions. People don't meditate. There's hardly any place where you can find silence. In this room, if an airplane goes over, you're going to hear it. So there's not a lot of silence. When we lived in the country, and there was silence. There was the voice of nature because it's very loud. There's no silence really anywhere, but there's a calmness that nature brings. The sound of a bird, the sound of a bee, the air moving past you, the rain coming. Silence is very, very loud. you find out. You wouldn't believe that, but meditate sometime and listen to the voice of life.
The last one is, what do you think about college? Do you need it?
Not everybody needs college. Some people need a skill, a trade, that doesn't require college. Those who have that type of mind, yes, it's something wonderful. But the colleges today, they seem like they were set up to feed industry, not so much to partake in knowledge, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as a whole. Some people need that. Some people need to do that type of study. Everybody knows. People need a way to survive, a way to eat, a way to live. A person that goes to college needs all that also. But everybody don't need college. Some people just need a skill that they can survive, something that they love to do. Not something that is an unwanted task.
Makes sense. I get it. Is there anything that you want to say, touch on? It's been months since you said anything. Okay, I don't know if there's anything you thought about or you want to get out, and I'll post it while it's recording. If not, I can stop it.
Well, I hope that we begin to be more critical about. We need to do more critical thinking. As you asked me earlier about Ibrahim Traore coming from Africa. That's a very important guy. But as I go along and move around in the African American community, I see very few that really know who he is and how important he is to our future and how important Africa is to all of us at this time. Because times are very critical today, and we don't really have a good view of where we're going to end up. And I can see a lot of pain coming, but we have to start looking at each other now and looking at how we got in this predicament that we happen to be in, and how we're going to get out of it. And I think the youth better start thinking about that, because they're the ones going to inherit this earth. And whatever is coming, that's their experience. I was at a thing with a bunch of students yesterday, and they asked me, what should I do? What should they do? And I had to let them know that's on them, what they do. When we had whatever situations we had, it was on us what we did. Today, it's on you guys' visions. You inherit this world, and wherever it's gonna go, because it's your decisions that it's gonna give us vision and survival if we utilize our vision and utilize and begin to solve some of the problems that we have, like disunity. We got to really start working on that kind of stuff now. Young is going to have to start talking to old. Old is going to have to start talking to young. And again, as I say, the elders can only tell you their experiences. You have to deal with those that are coming to you. It's on y'all. What happens tomorrow? in this world. It's on you. I'm splitting in a while. I had a lot of years and we'll have a few more. But the future's in you all's hands, and you better realize that. That's one main thing I want to tell you. If you want a good future, it's on your decisions, not mine. That's about all. Always a warning to my little black children, you know, because the old folks worry about you. They know you guys are a little lackadaisical now. And we're not solving any of our problems. Each individual is trying to solve their own. But you can do that with a crowd, because somebody might have the good idea, the vision to see the mistakes that we have made and are making. So that's all I want to say.